Hello and welcome back to Three Houses, Silver Snow, Ashen Wolves. We are on chapter 18, the N-Bar Infiltration. And I have something important to point out before I get started, which is that I have fixed the audio latency problem that I was having over the last several episodes. Unfortunately, I had recorded a bunch of those before I noticed the problem. I do go back and check my recordings to make sure the audio is working in general, but that particular problem wasn't something that I was ever looking for. Because I didn't know it was possible for the game audio to be desynced with the game video. So I didn't know to check for it. I mostly just check, is my audio audible? Is the game audio audible? And then can figure that that's good enough. Apparently it's not. So apparently there's a setting in OBS which can potentially cause that to get desynchronized. I'm not sure why it only popped up recently, but in any case, it should be good now, and that is something I will pay more attention to in the future. So sorry about that. I hope that wasn't too painful. Anyway, this chapter is yet another defeat boss, and I guess at this point I could say another defeat multiple bosses. We've got two this time. We've got Hubert down here, and we've got the Death Knight once again up here. Our forces unfortunately start in a little bit of an awkward position. So we've got 5 units over here and 5 units up here. The problem with that being that while it is possible to one-turn the map with just Byleth, Stride, and a Dancer, having Byleth come down here, kill the Death Knight, and then come all the way down and kill Hubert. I worked out how I would do that as my first approach to the map. The thing that it wouldn't allow us to do is pick up the Opera Company Volunteers, which is a dance battalion that you can get by sending Manuela or Dorothea over to this to stand next to this opera hall, because in order to have Byleth take out both of these bosses in one turn, you need all 4. Well, I need all 4 units to contribute. So basically, what would happen is I'd have a Strider, a Dancer, and then a Warper and a Rescuer, and would need to warp Byleth to get Byleth far enough that, or rescue. Which one is which doesn't really matter, but I would need to warp and or rescue both Byleth and Linhardt, which means that, I could have Manuela potentially be one of them, although I don't know that her warp range is enough to do it anyway. But obviously I wouldn't then be able to also move her over to the Opera Hall, because she can't move there by herself even if she gets Stride. So instead, what we're going to do is we're only going to have Byleth take out the Death Knight, and we're actually going to have Seteth take out Hubert. And both of these are somewhat risky propositions in terms of hit rates and such. Byleth probably would be more reliable at taking out Hubert, although I didn't actually check. I'm just sort of assuming that she would have a better hit rate. Maybe that's not even actually meaningfully true, but in any case, I didn't check. But certainly, the hit rates, as with the previous chapter with the Death Knight, the hit rates and the potential for crit and all that is going to make stuff a little shaky. But what can you do? So in order to do both of those things and get Manuela over to here, I'm actually bringing Anna this time, whose rescue range is absolutely pathetic, but it is slightly better than a shove or a swap or a drawback or whatever equivalent. If we had Smite, that would be just as good, but we don't. So yeah, I'm not actually using Manuela to warp, but I am actually bringing all of my units that have some sort of warp or rescue type spell. Obviously, I've been using Flame, Constance, and Happy a lot, But, you know, hadn't really used these two in that way. And, again, still won't be using Manuela for that, but, yeah, it's just, it's nice to know that I at least had the option. I actually do also have Bernadetta has, rescue, but she only has 9 magic, and I mean, Anna's rescue range is pretty pathetic at 14 magic, but Bernadetta's 9 is actually worse. The effective range of it is 1 tile, unless you can like set up a, you know, a screen where, you know, that you have to get flung to the other side. But because the way that rescue works is you count the squares from the rescuer to the rescuee, and that's like the max range. So for instance, Anna with 14, you divide by 4 and you round down, you get 3 squares. So that means she can rescue somebody who's up to 3 squares away, but that means that the effective like movement is only 2 squares. Unless again you can like screen the closer squares so that they get put on the farther squares. Anyway, probably not telling anybody stuff that they didn't already know. Let's do some stat boosters. So we're doing a couple of these this time. First of all, Constance is going to take 2 Spirit Dusts because I want to boost her warp range from 9 to 10. Sorry, rescue range from 9 to 10. Now, this clear would actually work without doing that, but this does increase our reliability because what we get to do is we get to pull with 9 rescue range, then Constance cannot quite rescue Manuela into range of the Death Knight. Happy would be able to, with 1 Spirit Dust, warp her into range of the Death Knight, but having 2 rescues down here doesn't work. We need the warp down here. I'll get into why that is later. But so if we put the stride down there, I guess we could probably do it, but we need the stride up here because Manuela can't get far enough without the stride. Byleth, maybe I could find a way to get that part done, but Manuela definitely couldn't get far enough without stride. So yeah, so we need this to be a rescue. Constance has the biggest rescue, but even so, it's not big enough without the Spirit Dusts to get Manuela into range, and getting Manuela into a range gives us +10 to hit on the Death Knight, so that's pretty good. And in any case now, you know, she has 4 extra magic, and she can hit harder with bolting or whatever. I'm also going to give Byleth a secret book. This could go to either Byleth or Seteth and be pretty reasonable, I think. The main reason I'm giving it to Byleth is that I just, in general, use Byleth more. Like, I'm more likely to get value out of the extra dexterity on Byleth, but it's, you know, like, both of them want to improve their reliability here. I guess the thing is that Seteth is, at least one of the ways that you can kill Hubert is getting a Smash critical, and his hit rate with Smash is pretty good to the point where the dex boost is mostly just going to be about boosting his crit rate, but his crit rate only goes up by 1 instead of by 2. You know, because Dex gets halved into the crit. So that's why we're doing that. Other than that, I'm not actually giving out any of the other myriad stat boosters I have because I still don't really need them. Like, I have a ton of speed boosts right now, but I don't really need them right now. Seteth, you know, being able to double Hubert, for instance, wouldn't help because Hubert would just one-shot him. So we need to kill him before Hubert can counterattack. And there's not really anybody else who can kill Hubert in Seteth's place. I think it's possible that we could set up a kill for Catherine, who I'm having adjutant for Seteth, but she would have, like... I think she would need some strength boosters, and she would actually have, like, a very slightly worse hit rate than Seteth, and wouldn't really realistically have the chance to go for the crit option. And might also get one shot by Hubert, or very close to it, I don't remember, and at the very least would have to face the crit that he has, so it's just easier to use Seteth. Anyway, okay, so, with all that being said, let's do it.
Hubert and the devil. It's here! The crest!
Yeah, we're here. That is true. Okay, so, we're gonna start with Eerie Striding, which I didn't even mention It's going to be a thing.
Well done.
But it's going to be a thing. And that is going to give us
Certainly can.
Hunter's Volley, which is great, finally. And then we're going to,
Sunshine.
as I mentioned, down, rescue Manuela. Doink. Doink. And then we're going to go ahead and have Balthus attack this guy. So since we, as it turns out, we have like this one extra spare action that we can use only up here. There's not enough, like, we need to use everybody in the lower right. And it's a little unfortunate because there's two treasure chests. There's this one here, which has the Axe of Zoltan, and then there's one up here, which has a Brave Sword. It would have been nice to go get the Axe of Zoltan, although I'm not sure I could have gotten to it anyway, like, movement-wise. It's like 1, 2, 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, probably not anyway, so maybe it doesn't even matter. But in any case, I'm giving this extra action to Balthus, who doesn't turn out to need to do any shoving because I'm rescuing
This wouldn't.
Manuela the extra space by getting her across here. And I guess I slightly prefer getting Balthus to level 30 over getting Yuri because Balthus might want to be a War Master. I'm not sure because he loses Fierce Iron Fist, but, you know. And Yuri gets to learn Hunter's Volley regardless just by striding,
That's my
so
strategy.
that's cool. Anyway, actually, you know what? Before we... Oh, well, I guess I did already take that action with Balthus. Because, like, the order of... Obviously, Balthus's attack here could affect, you know, what order we want to do things in if we end up getting crit by the Death Knight or whatever. But I think, at least... Yeah, I probably shouldn't have made that attack already, just to make rewinding easier. But whatever. Let's start moving units down here. So, first thing we're going to do is... Anna is going to do her big rescue to move set up 2 spaces. Good job, Anna. You contributed.
I know
It's
that
actually
when
a
I
pretty
see
good
it.
level. Although, no strength or magic. Not that a point of magic would matter right now for her anyway. She'd need 2. Anyway, and then we're going to rescue Linhardt. And the reason we can't double rescue down here is because we need to get Linhardt like into this region. Like, even if we get him across the river like over to here, there's this like moat here, and he can't like run down and dance for Seteth. And if Seteth needs to be within 9 squares of Hubert, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So there's no spot. So that this is even with giving him a march ring, and there's no spot where like he can be within range of like this part, right? Because it's like here, 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 or then across the river. So what we need to do is get Linhardt over here. I did look at like, okay, if I were to put Constance with her larger rescue range down here and move her like over here or something like that, could I like rescue, you know, or maybe here, could I rescue in a spot where it would like I could get some extra squares because there's nowhere to put him and he'd have to end up over here. But I think let me see. Anna or Seteth started here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, so without having to give the march ring to Constance, which would be a problem. So Constance would only have been able to get to here, which would put Linhardt there, right? Because this spot is 2 squares away. This spot is 2 squares away. So if I didn't have the march ring on one of Seteth or Byleth, then I'd have problems there. I guess I could have used Balthus to shove Byleth now that I'm thinking about it, and then Byleth wouldn't need the march ring. But this is assuming even that, like, if I rescue here, that's going to go 1, 2, 3 down to there rather than 1, 2, 3 up here, which it may well not do. I didn't test that, but And that's assuming that, like, that's even within rescue range, which 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I guess that would be in range. Seth was here, or well, no, because Constance would be here. Yeah, but then Seth needs to get moved farther. So I don't know. I think maybe it would be doable, but I'm not so sure. Anyway, okay, so we're going to stop talking about that, and we're going to warp. Yoink. Just to make it in there, and then reinforcements show up. But fortunately, they don't block access to Hubert. If they did, that would be really annoying. But they don't. Okay, so now we can have Sedith not actually one-shot this guy. I think Helm Splitter will do it. Why not? No, we don't really need this kill, obviously, but it's a knob we can turn if things go south with the rest of our attacks. Let's dance.
Was it any?
Okay, so now we can either go for Brave Axe 55, obviously not very reliable to hit 255s, or we can go for Killer Axe crit at 54, which we can flip up to 59 with Critical Ring. So that seems more likely to succeed to me, so that's what I'm gonna... I don't actually know. I mean, it's pretty complicated to figure out mathematically, but I'm gonna try this. And we miss. Okay. So let's not do that. So we just missed an 85, which means that Byleth would also miss. Which is not great. But you know who wouldn't miss is Balthus. So okay, let's go back to here. And this time, let's not move Balthus yet. And let's do that.
I know that. Onward.
This.
Why not?
This.
Guide me well.
Go ahead and do this again. Oh, okay, we just crit, so that's good to know, because that means that if we choose not to make that attack, we just go straight for Hubert, we will definitely crit. So
I'm awake.
Let's see how we do this time.
Was it any?
Oh, I didn't equip the ring. Okay, we got it anyway. The critical ring, I mean, was what I did not equip, but it didn't matter. Good to know.
So much.
Alright, so now we've just got Balthus and Byleth.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and do this. Ba-dum-pum.
This.
What's my strategy?
Then... So on... Oh! Wait a minute. I see the problem with this approach. Dang it! I need to move Manuela before... I forgot about that part. Okay, hold on. So before... Okay. So we used Warp. We crit that guy. Let's see if we can get Byleth to crit Death Knight then. Yeah, because we got to move Manuela over here before we end the chapter. Whoops.
What's my strategy?
Okay, so. Oh, right, we don't have much crit here, and the hit rate here, we're not very likely. We are not very likely to get a crit here. Unfortunately, I don't think there's too much I can do about that. It just the Thunderbrand, because the Death Knight is now on an avoid tile, the Thunderbrand's hit rate is awfully low. If we go for that, I mean, we could boost the accuracy. We probably should, but that's still far from guaranteed that like a 33% crit also means a 13% crit. And if we don't crit, we don't kill. So I'm just gonna go for this. Okay, we didn't get crit. That's the important thing. He said the thing! Maddening! That's the name of the thing.
This still.
I think that was a good level for Byleth. I kind of wasn't
Good. We are
thinking about it. We hit 50 speed. We didn't get defense or strength though. That's annoying. Okay. So now we can go ahead and move Manuela over here. We can also make an attack with Manuela. We can either... I don't know if Silence burns the same RNs, because I like Silence is like actually guaranteed to hit, but we do have Silence. So I guess... I mean, I guess I'll just do it and then undo it if I... feel like I need to.
Guide me well.
Alright. Once more with feeling. Didn't crit that time.
I'm awake. Apologies. Was it any...
Balthus.
This.
And Seteth.
It's almost a
Got it. Oh, and I forgot to switch to the ring again.
In Her Majesty.
Never punished.
Victory is
Never punished.
excellent.
We did it!
Through the city.
Yay! And we got the Opera Company volunteers. Sweet. One turn. So yeah, that one, I think, like, it's only one turn. I only spent one turn on it, but, I mean, it was actually, like, pretty non-trivial to figure out, I would say. Like, getting Manuel over there, like, I mean, the fact that I needed Anna, I mean, I always knew I had that option in my back pocket, so to speak, if I wanted it, but the fact that I needed that definitely, like, suggests that it was more complex than some of the other ones where I've pretty much just been able to throw couple of units, or like a couple of like rescues or warps, and most of my other units have been able to do, you know, whatever the heck they wanted. So yeah, I will say I'm pretty happy with this one. Anyway, that will do it for now. The next chapter, I believe, is when we fight Edelgard. So that'll be chapter 19. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time for that one. Until then.